Well, hi everyone. Happy Easter to you. Well, it's almost Easter, and I just wanted to do a video that was just a little bit different today. I thought I would visit with you or talk with you just a little bit as I put together this side in a jar. I'm going to make macaroni salad. Now, I'm going to do it as a side in a jar, but I mean, you don't have to do that. You can just get out your ingredients and then put it together all at once whenever you're ready to make it. That's how I kind of discovered this recipe. I was in a pinch and I needed a macaroni salad to take somewhere, and I didn't have the ingredients on hand to make it fresh. So I thought, okay, I've got Thrive, what can I do here? And then, the wheels just started churning and my imagination takes over, and I don't know, I just get a little creative in the kitchen with Thrive because, the ingredients are amazing. And so there's just so much you can do with it. That recipe turned out amazing. You can do several different versions of it because we have lots of different vegetables you could put into your macaroni salad. I'm going to show you this specific version today, but you feel free. If you make this, you just turn it into whatever kind of macaroni salad you want it to be with a different combination of vegetables. Now, I am going to be using my own homemade mayonnaise, and I already have made this up. I just made this morning. So this is my meal in a jar recipe or not meal in a jar. It's just the mayonnaise in a jar that you can make from just dry ingredients and oil. So I will link that probably up here somewhere. Okay, I'm not great at this. I'll link it in the description box below, okay? But you are gonna need some mayonnaise. And if you don't make your own homemade mayonnaise, you can use the kind out of a bottle. But I'm just gonna try and show you that if you don't have everything you usually have in order to make a macaroni salad, you can still make a macaroni salad if you have Thrive Life on your shelf, okay? So yeah, we'll get to that in just a minute. I just wanted to tell you that Easter is my favorite holiday, and that's because I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. I'm a Christian, I'm a follower of Christ, and Easter is one of the most significant holidays for Christians because it celebrates the resurrection of Christ from the dead. So this is how we know that God accepted the payment of his death on the cross on our behalf, is because he raised him in 3 days. And so Easter to me is like the most significant Christian holiday, other than maybe Christmas, because he had to be born first before he could die, and then he had to die before he was raised. So tomorrow for me, tomorrow is Good Friday, when we celebrate the good thing that Christ did for us on the cross as he took on our sins and was crucified and died the death that I deserve. Sorry, I often get overwhelmed by God's goodness and grace and his mercy in my life. They call it the Great Exchange, and it's where Christ had lived that perfect life and he imparted it to me. When I placed my faith in him, I get his perfect righteousness as if I had lived it. And that day on the cross, he took on all of my sins, every single one of them that I would ever commit. This is an amazing exchange for Christians, and I didn't deserve it. And this is what God does for those he loves. And the Bible makes it clear that he loves humanity. If you know in your heart of hearts that you're a sinner and that you have done wrong before a holy God, all you have to do is call out to him and ask for forgiveness. And he accepts us arms open wide and forgives us of those sins that we committed. And he imputes to us or gives to us the righteous life that he lived because we can't do it ourselves. The sin that used to separate me from God, Jesus paid for that sin and God accepted it. And we know that because of the resurrection. So that's why Easter is my favorite holiday. It's mostly just about celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And I wanted to share that with you today. Now, let's get to the macaroni salad because that's probably why you're here. All right, so these are the things I'm going to be putting into my macaroni salad. Of course, we're going to have some macaroni. You can see it back there. I'm going to boil that separately, and then I'm going to make the dressing for the macaroni salad out of the mayonnaise that I just made this morning. It's a little bit of mustard, that is some vinegar, and then I'll put salt, pepper, and a little bit of sugar in there. And these are the vegetables that are going to go into my macaroni salad. And you can put whatever vegetables you like, okay? I've got peas, 2 kinds of bell peppers, carrots, corn, and celery. And then I love a boiled egg in my macaroni salad. And I figured out kind of a shortcut way to do boiled eggs. It's not going to be exactly the same, but I am going to use a scrambled egg mix. And they turn out wonderful, and they have the same texture as a boiled egg without having to actually have eggs on hand, which I didn't and I needed. So I figured out how to do it with our scrambled egg mix. And then here are the seasonings I'm going to put into my macaroni salad. I'm going to use 2 separate jars because I need to cook the macaroni separately. And then the vegetables, they don't actually get cooked. They just get rehydrated in some really hot water. And surprisingly, it turns out amazing. So let me show you how I put it together. I've got a couple of different pint-sized jars. Into the first jar, I'm going to do 1.5 cups of elbow macaroni. I'm going to go ahead and put some salt in here so that when I empty this jar into the boiling water, it'll have some salt in it and I don't have to remember to salt the water. And then into a little baggie, I'm going to put just 1/4 cup of our scrambled egg mix. And this is going to be the equivalent of boiling a couple of eggs. I'll show you my technique so you can repeat this at home. Okay, and that's all that goes into the first jar is the macaroni noodles, a little bit of salt, which is optional. I mean, you don't have to put it in there. You can salt your water when you do it. And then the egg, okay? So that's the first jar, that's it. Let's move on to the second jar. This is the one where you just have creative license here, okay? Put whatever you want in the second jar. I thought, you know what, broccoli would be good in here too. But today I'm going to stick with what I did the first time, which turned out so good. So let me show you what I put in here. First of all, you need to put the carrots at the bottom, okay? The carrots are dehydrated. They're not freeze-dried. They're dehydrated, and they for sure need access to really hot water in order to hydrate. I mean, if you tried to eat that right now, you'd like break a tooth. So don't do that, okay? Put the carrots in the bottom of the jar, and I think I put maybe 3 tablespoons of carrots. Now, at this point, you can layer in whatever other veggies you want. So let me just do, let's see, I'm going to do peas, our sweet corn. Here's 1/4 cup of celery. And I've got 2 kinds of bell peppers here. I've got green and red bell peppers. And this is just a tablespoon of red onions. And I get these from the Lighthouse brand at Walmart. So there's a tablespoon of red onions. You could use the Thrive Life chopped white onions, but I like red onions in a macaroni salad. Oxygen absorber, if you're going to do this as a meal in a jar where it sits on the shelf. Okay, that's it. These are the macaroni salad jars that you could keep stored on your pantry shelf. And that way, when you're ready to make the macaroni salad, it's sitting there ready and waiting for you. Okay, let me show you how I put it together. First, let me take pictures and then I'll be back. First of all, the very first thing we need to do is to start with the veggie jar. Actually, you would think, hey, you need to do that macaroni. Yeah, you do. But let's start with this because you just want to make sure, especially those carrots, are completely rehydrated. And so I need to go get hot water and I'm gonna fill this up. And I went to take pictures and I thought, I'm gonna put more at the top. I might as well. And now I'm going to fill this up with like scalding hot water, as hot as will come out of that faucet is what I'm gonna put in here. So let me go do that. So I put water into it until it's just like at the very top. I just filled that with hot, hot, hot water. Okay, now you could put it in here out of a kettle or something like that too. I just did straight out of my sink. I mean my faucet. I was calling it a sink, but my faucet. All right, so I'm just pressing this corn and stuff down, these veggies down. I'll press them down. We're gonna let this sit because they need to completely rehydrate before you put them into a salad. And we're not cooking them. These go in raw. Set that to the side. Next thing I'm gonna do is fill up my pot and cook some macaroni. All right, let me show you what this looks like over here. I'm sure you've seen water boil before. Crank that up, get that to a boil. All right, and while that happens, we'll get the eggs out of here. Remember, we put a 1/4 cup of eggs in this plastic baggie. And I'm gonna show you the coolest way to do quote unquote boiled eggs for macaroni salad using this. I have these silicone molds, all right? These are for cupcakes, but you'll need some sort of a silicone mold if you're gonna do it like this. So you'll need those. And then we're gonna mix up the eggs, pour the eggs into that, and then you can either cook them in an Instant Pot for just a couple of minutes on high pressure, or you can cook them in the microwave. I'm gonna do the microwave today because it's faster. So into this bowl goes the egg mix. This is 2 eggs worth of powder, okay? And what I'm gonna do is add 6 tablespoons of water to this right now. Okay, I've added 6 tablespoons of water. I think I'm gonna get a whisk. The scrambled egg mix is amazing. They're very consistent. They're good all the time, and they're good for baking or scrambling, quiches, whatever. Okay, so I love my Thrive Life scrambled egg mix. I always have it. I'm going to put out a few of these molds, these silicone molds, and I don't know, you don't need star shape, that's for sure. But I'm gonna put out a few of them on this plate, and we'll see how many will fit, maybe only 5. We're gonna fill these, we'll see how full we can get them, but at least halfway full of the scrambled eggs. Four's all I needed. These guys are gonna go into the microwave for, I'm gonna try 30 seconds and see what happens after 30 seconds. Look at that. Look at that. How about that? Okay, that was easy. And believe it or not, these are gonna have amazing texture. So they're gonna have bounce, just like a regular boiled egg. Real quick, I'm gonna put these in the fridge. All right, we've got boiling water. Now is a good time to add the salt and the macaroni. It's gonna go right in. And they say it's really important to stir it just as soon as you put it in so it doesn't stick. So I'm gonna do that. And I know my water is gonna have good flavor. And this is really the only time that pasta is able to soak up any flavor, is at the very beginning of the boil. So it's gonna be drawing in that water and cooking. So that's why you wanna make sure that you have salted water. You'll want to come along every once in a while, give it a stir, because you don't want that pasta to stick. And I've got a timer set for 6 minutes because I want to take this out when it's al dente. I don't want mushy macaroni salad. While that macaroni is boiling, let's make the dressing for the macaroni salad. So I'm going to take this mayonnaise and, oh my gosh, y'all, just look at this. Just look at this. Oh my, I love it. If you're not making the homemade mayonnaise and you would like to try it, I highly suggest you do because it's amazing. Let's test this macaroni and see where we are. Oops, I lost you. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna pull that, y'all. And I'm gonna go drain this. I'll be right back. All right. That's drained. All right, you can also add sour cream to this, which I might do. Can y'all see? That's a beautiful dressing. I'm really curious. Let's see what our vegetables are like at this point. See if we need to give them a little more time or if they are going to be ready. I might as well just taste it and see. Oh yeah. Those are good. Let me test the carrots, because those are going to be the most stubborn of all. I call them stubborn. Okay, yeah, they are ready at this point, and I'm going to drain them. I like to actually add that macaroni first and coat all of the macaroni noodles in the sauce. They're still kind of hot, all coated in that sauce. All right, now I'm going to add the veggies. Our hydrated raw veggies. This is so pretty, isn't it? This is going to be great on our Easter table. What do y'all do for Easter? When our kids were little, we used to have an egg hunt and everything with the cousins over at Nan and Pa's house. That's my husband's parents. And that was so much fun. Oh, I forgot the eggs. Let's cut up the eggs and get them in there. Oh my gosh, y'all. That is like a very important part of this whole thing. Let me show you how these pop out, okay? They just go plop. Really, like these silicone molds are really, really cool. Just plop right out. They don't stick. Here we go. So I'm just gonna run my knife through these fantastic little things. Oh, I forgot to show you. See there. These kind of bouncy little things. They're just perfect as a substitute for a boiled egg. Okay, I just want to zoom in just a little bit and show you how wonderful this looks. Right? And it looks so good. Now, it's totally up to you how much of that sauce you want to add. I ended up adding another spoonful or two of mayonnaise and everything else just because I thought it needed more. So I'm going to put that in the show notes below. When I write out the recipe, I'll let you know how much I ended up putting in. But y'all, I'm just thrilled with this. Just look at how gorgeous that is. How about that? I will include the full recipe down in the description box below in case you want to make this yourself. I'll also include my shopping link in case you want to pick up any of these Thrive Life ingredients you see featured in this video or any other videos on my channel. And don't forget, y'all, I have a giveaway contest going on right now for anyone who purchases one of the new Chef Pack starters in the month of April. Your name will be put into a drawing for a free family can of either strawberries or blueberries. It's your choice. So don't forget to get those orders in before the month is up. Thank y'all so much for joining me today in the kitchen as I made this new recipe for macaroni salad using Thrive Life ingredients. And I think it's absolutely delicious. I hope y'all do too. I hope you give it a try and love it. And just realize the possibilities are pretty much endless as far as cooking with your freeze-dried food. Y'all have a blessed Easter weekend. I pray God's blessings on you. And until next time, y'all take care and keep thriving.